Hey, what's going on, everybody? Evil Eddie, also known as Cyber Ray 1976, coming at you again for part 2 to my recent Blu-ray and DVD finds. And if you're just joining us, be sure and check out part 1, which I show off some of my recent VHS finds I found at the flea market. And I found out a lot of really good deals for a really cheap price, and so be sure and tune in for part 1 to that if you haven't already. But since you're here, go ahead and check out part 2, which I show off some of my DVDs and my one Blu-ray. I only have one Blu-ray this time. My recent DVD and Blu-ray finds. And to kickstart that off, I have a very cool little documentary that I found. I actually went to my local video store. They're having a sale, 2 buy 2 get the third one free, and I actually ended up getting this one for free. It's John Carpenter, The Man and His Movies. Very cool little documentary showcasing John Carpenter's career in the last 30 years, starting off with Dark Star, which was his first movie, all the way up to the late 90s, early 2000s, to when he was doing like Ghost of Mars and Village of the Damned and stuff like that. But yeah, pretty cool. It has lots of cool interviews with lots of different celebrities like Alice Cooper, Adrienne Barbeau, Jamie Lee Curtis, Peter Fonda, Kurt Russell, Nick Castle, you know, people like that. A lot of people that's been in John Carpenter's movies. They make a cameo appearance in here. It's a very cool little documentary. I enjoyed this a lot, being a fan of John Carpenter. He's my favorite horror movie director. So I was real happy to find this, and it's a very cool, little, interesting little documentary about him. Next on the list, Santa's Sleigh. I actually used to have this movie years ago and ended up getting rid of it, and I ended up getting it back just recently. But it's a funny, corny, cheesy little horror movie / comedy. Basically, it's Santa Claus. He ends up losing a bet with an angel 1,000 years ago, and when he loses the bet, he has to be good for the next 1,000 years. And that's the Santa Claus that we've known, you know, that we know and love. But now the bet is off, the 1,000 years is up, and now Santa's bad side comes out. So, Santa's Sleigh, very cool, very cheesy, very funny little movie. Next up, Hot Fuzz, from the producers and the director and that did Shaun of the Dead. This is the sort of semi-sequel to Shaun of the Dead. Not really a horror movie. It's sort of a horror / comedy / action / thriller. All 4 genres all crammed into one. And this was pretty good. Not as good as I thought it would be. Not as funny as I thought it would be. But it did give me a chuckle here and there. But it's extremely violent in some spots. You know, it is. So if you're thinking, you know, going into watching this thing, it's just going to be a comedy. It's not. It's got a lot of pretty extreme graphic scenes in it too. So, but yeah, I recommend, definitely give Hot Fuzz a look. Not quite as good as I thought it would be, but you know, it's pretty good. All right, next up on the list, Universal Soldier, one of Jean-Claude Van Damme's earlier films from the early 90s, also starring Dolph Lundgren. I can remember going and seeing this movie back in... He doesn't give that classic line in this one, you know. But yeah, I can remember going and seeing this back in junior high with my friends and thinking it was pretty cool. And I really enjoyed this, and the movie really holds up well. And it's one of my all-time favorite action movies. And I found out recently they have a part 5 out, and it's called Regeneration, and they actually bring back Dolph Lundgren in the 5th one as like one of the main villains. So I would like to get that one. You know, I'm not so big on finding 2, 3, or 4, but I definitely want to give part 5 a look because it's kind of like the direct sequel to the first one. So I definitely want to check it out. And I actually seen it at the flea market the last time I went to, not at the flea market, but the pawn shop. The last time I went to the pawn shop, they had it. So I may get it next time I go to the pawn shop. But yeah, Universal Soldier, Van Damme, and Dolph Lundgren. How can you go wrong with a combo like that? You know, it's like beer and pretzels. Alright, next up on the list, Children of the Corn Part 2 and 3, double feature, $5 Walmart find right here. I had Part 3 on VHS, I've been looking for Part 2, so with this you get the best of both worlds. You get Part 2 and 3 on DVD. Pretty cool. Huh?
2 was boring though.
Do you think 2 was boring?
I don't like none of the characters in the movie. I just didn't care much for it at all. It just dragged. I don't know.
Well, it's actually
nothing's gonna beat the original.
Well, yeah, of course, nothing will ever beat the original.
But I heard part 3 is better. Scott told me it's better.
Part three is pretty damn good, man.
Yeah, I gotta say, watch it. I haven't watched it yet.
It's been a while since I've seen 3, and it's been a really long time since I've seen 2.
Yeah,
but
you'll see what I'm talking about. You watched 2, it was boring. I thought. Only thing good about part 2 is that chick from Days of Our Lives.
Yeah.
That long-headed chick's in it.
She is hot, too.
The only time to see her for a few times half naked, that was alright. But after that, I started dozing off.
Yeah. But I've actually only seen Children of the Corn 1, 2, and 3. I've never seen 4 through 7, or the remake. But from what I've heard,
I said 4 was not that great. 5 was alright, but 6 is real good. He said 6 was good, and 7 blowed.
Yeah, and Chris said the remake totally sucked.
Oh, the remake, yeah, I've seen it on TV. It was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a lot of the same things, but then they changed some of it and stuff. I never actually read the book or nothing, so I don't know if they did it by the book or what.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just happy to have 1, 2, and 3. And I could have bought part 6 at the flea or at the pawn shop not too long ago, and I passed on it, and I went back to get it, and it's gone.
I think that's where Isaac returns or something. That's why they said it's pretty good. So.
Yeah, I wish I'd gotten it now. Right.
Nothing beats the first one with the music.
Oh God, no.
Still makes I have to look around, man. I don't want to go no corner.
All right, next up on the list is I actually found this at the flea market this morning. Picked it up for $2. It's one of my favorite childhood movies from the '80s. It's The Dark Crystal. From the Jim Henson, the guy that did of course the Muppets and Labyrinth and the Storyteller and But yeah, I'm sure probably most of you have probably seen The Dark Crystal. If you haven't, it's a spectacular movie. It's a spectacular, awesome family movie. And one of my, like I said, it's one that I watched 100 times or more growing up. So I've been I had this on VHS, been wanting to get it on DVD. So I finally found it, and for $2, I was like, man, I have to get it. So, all right, next up. Frozen, the new one from Adam Green. Adam Green, the guy that's responsible for the Hatchet movies. This is his new one. Also features a cool cameo from Kane Hodder, as you may know, as Jason from Friday the 13th. He makes a cool little cameo in this movie. But it's a very cool thriller, though. It's very suspenseful, very intense, very climactic. It does for getting on ski lifts, kind of like what Jaws did for getting in the water and what Psycho did for getting in the shower. This will do the same thing for getting on a ski lift, which I've never gone skiing, and after seeing this movie, you can bet I never will. But yeah, I don't want to give too much away about this movie, but if you like movies like Open Water and maybe like Cujo.
It wasn't filmed like Open Water.
No.
Filmed like that.
One of those movies where you find yourself in an extreme situation that could really happen, and you think to yourself, oh my God, what would I do in a situation like that? Well, this is a perfect movie for you if you like movies like that, But it's pretty intense, man. I'll go ahead and warn you now. It's pretty intense.
It's cold.
Oh yeah.
Makes you shiver.
It does. But yeah, definitely give Frozen a look. I really enjoyed it, and so did Movie John 75. So it gets both of our. Woo! All right, I picked up a few cartoons. Go ahead and show them off real quick. I had Volume 1 already. I found Volume 2 on Amazon.com. And it is She-Ra, Princess of Power, one of my favorite cartoons growing up back in the 80s. I was a fan of He-Man and Masters of the Universe, so naturally I was a fan of She-Ra, He-Man's twin sister. Whereas He-Man's adventures took place on Eternia and usually dealt with Skeletor, She-Ra's adventures takes place on Etheria, and the main villain is Hordak. And, I'm proud of I'm not ashamed to say I watched She-Ra growing up, and I'm sure many of you out there also did. So, of course, a lot of the adventures has She-Ra teaming up with He-Man. So, being a fan of He-Man, I was naturally a fan of She-Ra. So she's kind of like the Wonder Woman to Superman.
Never caught none of them.
Yeah.
Never really caught none of the He-Man. I had the figures, but never really watched.
It's really, you know, it's when animation, it's when cartoons were good, people. Back when, you know,
they were the shit.
back when cartoons were actually worth getting up on Saturday morning to watch.
Saturday mornings, I ain't got nothing on no more.
They don't, man. But I watched this, you know, after school every day. I'd come home from school and, you know, watch He-Man and She-Ra. But yeah, it's just nice to reminisce and, you know, watch some of these again after not seeing them for the past 25 years, you know. And a couple other cartoons I picked up. I picked up Volume 1 and Volume 2 of The Avengers. Just proof that all cartoons that come out nowadays don't suck. Although most of them do, these don't. These are very cool. The Avengers, if you don't know, is a comic book superhero team comprised of Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, the Incredible Hulk, Hawkeye, the Black Panther, Ant-Man, the Vision. And I'm looking forward to the movie coming out next year, which is going to have them all in it. But until we get to the movie, we have the cartoon series to keep, you know, to satisfy our Avengers need. Very cool. It has 13 episodes from season 1 on here. Looking forward to checking out season 2. And I love the shiny covers. Oh, shiny. Yep. Alright, and the last thing I want to show you in this update is my one and only Blu-ray.
Oscar-winning,
Grammy-nominated, Golden Globe, Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus. Who will win the ultimate battle of the...
David Hasselhoff ain't in it, is he?
No, but but speaking of which, it does have an 80s pop.
They don't have John Snyder. He's in one of them.
Yeah, he's in one of them. But it does star an 80s pop classic icon from the 80s. It has Debbie Gibson in it.
Oh, Debbie Gibson.
Debbie Gibson, and
I was going to say David Movrin.
he might be in the sequel.
He might be in the sequel.
And speaking of which, I just recently found out there really is a sequel to this movie. It's called Mega Shark versus Crocosaurus.
Croc.
And I just hope it's not the kind of croc I'm thinking it's going to be. But yeah, Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus. I'm really looking forward to actually checking out part 2, where he fights Crocosaurus. You know, Crocosaurus is like a giant, half crocodile, half dinosaur. But yeah, if you can, as you know, I'm a big fan of giant monster movies like Godzilla and Gamera and King Kong and stuff like that. So, you know, and they're about Godzilla size, you know. So I'm just waiting for them to do a Mega Shark versus Godzilla next. You know, that would actually be kind of cool, because Godzilla has never fought anything like a big giant shark before. You know, he's fought big giant lobster. You know, but I think it's the only creature he's ever actually fought as far as really being from the ocean. But yeah, that would actually be kind of cool. I'd like to see Godzilla maybe go up against a big giant 500-foot long shark or something like that. You know, it'd be kind of neat. But anyway, there you have it. Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus, my only Blu-ray in this update. And like I say, so if you haven't checked out part 1, definitely check out part 1. And hopefully, might planning on taking a trip back to Beyond Video here soon with Movie John 75 and Scott from Scotty Slasher, and hopefully we'll find some good stuff down there. And if we do, you'll be the first to know. So, and as always, thank you guys for checking out my videos, commenting, and subscribing. I much appreciate it. I am very grateful for you guys.
Always your time.
So, for how much? What are we up to, John?
14, 25.
Okay, well that's yeah. Let's go ahead and wrap things up and get on out of here. And we're going to give a call to our pal David Movrin and see what he's up to. So be sure and tune in for that. And as always, I'm Cyber Ray 1976, also known as Evil Eddie, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.